Hello and welcome, everyone. As always, I welcome you all to the aftermarket analysis session of the Indian markets Nifty and Bank Nifty. This is a session that takes place after the market closes for Nifty and Bank Nifty, where we look at what happened in the order flow today and basically try to read the footprint properly. So, if you are a beginner, want to learn how to read footprints properly, want to understand order flow well, or want to learn how to use GoCharting effectively, then you can join this daily live webinar at 5 p.m. in the evening. You will get the link to this live webinar on GoCharting's Discord and Telegram community before 5 p.m. in the evening. Okay. Also, if you are using GoCharting at that particular time, you can go to the notifications here and you will find the webinar link there as well. From here, you all can access the webinar. In any case, if you are unable to join this webinar, the recording of this webinar is uploaded on GoCharting's official YouTube channel. You can join from there as well. I have pinned all the useful links for GoCharting's YouTube channel, community channel, etc. in the messages. Along with that, you will also find all these links in the videos on GoCharting's YouTube channel. You can go there and join from there as well. Okay, so now let's see what happened in Nifty today and how things unfolded. Before looking at the order flow movement in Nifty, let's first see what kind of confirmations the Nifty volume profile had given us in the last few sessions. Okay, this is tomorrow's market. Okay. In this market, a node has formed here. Since it's a big node, we divided this volume node into two parts. Value area high and value area low, okay. We marked the value area high and marked the low as well. In any case, if it broke on the downside, this was the zone we had. Now, where did this zone come from? Whenever we look at a slightly larger time frame, it's the same, this zone. This entire range that Nifty had created, this was the opposite zone of that whole area. Okay, in any case, if this also breaks on the downside, then we have this zone, okay, and if it breaks on the upside, this was the volume node. And this volume node means, first of all, we marked the previous day's volume profiles. Then, we looked at the entire swing high and swing low on a larger time frame. Okay, so now let's see how the order flow gave us some confirmations around these very levels. Where did the buyers come in? Where did the sellers come in? And how did everything happen? Okay. Before you can read the footprint properly, you should know what delta is. Because with the help of delta, we read the footprints every day. Now, what exactly is this footprint? I mean, what is this delta? For example, let's pick today's second candle. Alright, these are the footprints of that candle. On the right side, we have buyers, and on the left side, we have sellers. So, for once, we add up all the buyers on the right side. Let's assume the total here comes out to be 1,81,000, okay, so these are the buyers on the plus side, and then we add up the sellers, okay. The total for the sellers comes out to be around 1 lakh, which we take as negative and subtract. So, if we subtract these two, what do we get? 81,000 is more, who is more? There are 81,000 more buyers. So, the same delta has also shown us here, okay, that in this particular candle, there are 81,000 more buyers compared to sellers. Now, since buyers are more, this value is in the green box, and there is no negative sign in front of the value. Okay, now let's look at this candle. Alright, let's check the delta in this candle. This time, the delta is inside the red candle, so in this candle, there are 600 more sellers compared to buyers, and similarly, this value is inside the red box and there is a negative sign in front of the value. We call this negative delta. Whenever there are more sellers, the value of negative delta is called negative delta. Negative delta equals seller, and whenever there are more buyers, we call it positive delta. Okay, the value of positive delta will always be visible inside the green box. Okay. So now we know what delta is. We know about positive delta and we know about negative delta. Pick any one candle, no matter if it is a red candle or a green candle, like I have picked this candle. Okay, as soon as I look at the delta of this candle, I immediately know who is stronger inside this candle, meaning whether the buyers are stronger or the sellers are. I checked the delta. There are more buyers around the 6,000 mark. Okay, so this means inside this candle, the buyers are more powerful. Even though the candle is red, there was nothing like selling inside this candle. Okay, now you must be noticing two things. Some candles have a very high delta value. 81,000, 60,000, 84,000, 96,000, okay, 27,000, 30,000, 28,000, and some candles have a very low delta value. Only 600, only 10,000, 6,000, 20,000, 4,000, meaning in some candles, the delta value is very high, and in some, it is very low. So, in those candles where the delta value is very high, there has been more buying and selling, and wherever there is more buying and selling, big players are also present. So, what is beneficial for us is to read those candles in which there has been more buying and selling. The candles in which there is less buying and selling are more or less neutral candles. There is no market maker. Which candle is a market maker candle? The candles in which there is more buying and selling. Okay. Okay, so now let's start from the very first candle and see how we read the footprint of only those candles which have a heavy delta. Like the first candle, it doesn't have such a big delta, around 20 to 30,000, a delta of about 20 to 25,000 is normal. For those candles whose delta value is around 30,000, you can consider that there has been a decent amount of buying and selling in those candles. The second candle, 80,000 buying and selling. Buying is around 80,000, it's good buying strength. Okay, so now how will we read the footprint? What did the delta indicate? There are quite a lot of buyers. Let's jump to the footprint. Okay, who is more powerful? Buyers are more powerful. The buyer's side, the right side, and on the right side, we'll specifically look at the area where the most buying has happened. Look at this, buying of 37k, buying of 23k, and buying of 21k. So this is particularly the zone where we saw significant buying in the market. Okay, there was buying within one candle. There was buying in the next candle as well. This buying continued for how long? For 5 candles. Okay, the buying started from the second candle and continued up to here. Which was the very first buying? The buying in the second candle. Okay, then there was significant buying in the next candle as well. If we talk about the buying at 53, from here to here, which was the biggest buying we saw? It was at 53, and the maximum buying was seen here. Okay, particularly there are more small buyers here, meaning aggressive buyers kept on buying continuously and the price kept moving up. There was good buying seen here. There was buying seen here as well. There was buying seen here too. But look, did this buying break towards the downside? It didn't, right? So this buying is likely to work. This is buying at 53. Did this buying break towards the downside? It didn't, right? So this buying is the one that deserves some importance. The buying at 42, see, the market came below this. There was buying at 54, 45, and 33 as well. But in the very next candle, all those buying zones were broken. There was buying at 66 and 68 as well. But after this buying, the market price did not go up. Like here when buyers came and took the price up. And here too, buyers came and took the price up. But this is the place where buying kept happening within the same range. Just look at this. It means this was the place where aggressive buyers were quite active, and this was the place where the buyers started getting absorbed gradually. How can we know that the buyers started getting absorbed? Simple. This buying zone was not broken even once. The market did not come down to this level. Even this buying zone was not broken. There was buying at 42k, but this zone got broken. There was buying at 54k and 45k. The next candle broke the zone. There was buying at 66K and 68K, but the very next candle broke these buying zones, meaning the market came below them. So, which zones were the most important to pay attention to? 53 and this one. Now let's see what happened whenever the market came for a pullback. Once it came for a pullback, we saw a decent amount of selling. Look at this, around the 30K mark, but it hasn't come for a pullback yet. This is that particular candle which touched the 53K zone and, in a way, touched this zone as well. But as soon as it touched this zone, we saw quite a significant selling here. So, whenever you assume that this is a bullish zone, okay, there are quite a few buyers here. So, if sellers come back around this same zone, then this zone can be broken. If there are no sellers, then in such a case, if there is any zone like this one, okay, this is a bullish zone, then when will this zone break? Only in one condition, that is, if sellers come in, then it will break. Sellers will come and break it. Here, we saw some light selling around the 30K mark, and this was the selling zone. So, as per the setup, whenever you see selling near a bullish zone during a pullback, you need to wait a little bit more. Next candle. Even in the next candle there was some light selling. There isn't that much selling, just look at this. Again, selling around the 30K mark, again selling around the 30K mark, again selling around the 30K mark, and this one is selling around the 70K mark. It means, in the beginning, the market was bullish and went quite high, but as soon as it reached those bullish zones, a pullback started. We saw some sellers coming in. Selling the greatest selling ever and the greatest selling ever. And this is the biggest selling till now. I mean, there hasn't even been this much buying anywhere like 70. Selling of 70 happened over a particular zone. So, what happened here? This is something you rarely get to see. Okay, whenever there is a roller coaster, otherwise, what usually happens is that if you don't see selling near the buying zone, then you generally get to see a decent upside movement during the pullback. Here, as soon as the bullish zone was touched, sellers appeared. The sellers continued selling. It wasn't even that there was heavy selling. But yes, there was a decent amount of selling. All the buying zones were broken by the sellers. And where did we see the most selling happening? Look here, the most selling was seen at the 70 and 33 levels, okay, and there was another selling which was absorbed earlier. It was absorbed only slightly, alright, but the market still went below that. So, this is the place, probably, where a good number of sellers have come in. At 70, 33, and 38 levels, okay. What happened in the next candles? Now, look at this. This is the place where the sellers have come in. Okay, this is the spot where the sellers entered. Now look over here. No buyer is interested. Anywhere at all. Every candle has a negative delta, and even when there was one positive, it was just 3000. Every candle has a negative delta. And what is happening here is that the resistance zone is being tested again and again, and look here as well. This was a bullish area. There was quite a bit of buying here, but now this same zone is being tested. Selling is coming in. Okay, so whenever a bullish zone is being tested with selling, you need to wait a little. And see here, whenever there is any reason to buy, everything should be in favor of the buyers, and whenever there is a reason to sell, everything should be in favor of the sellers. Like, there has been significant selling, and now there is a pullback, but there is no positive delta at all. Again, we are in selling here. What should we observe here? If we had seen some positive delta here as well, it would have meant that the sellers are not interested. Here, buyers are not interested, and the market is repeatedly testing the selling zone. Selling at 70,000, selling at 33,000, okay, the work is happening pin to pin. It held. All the buying zones were broken. There was quite a bit of selling. It held well, and we saw a downside movement. Till where? This is the same zone, which means the swing high and swing low. This is the opposition zone for the entire month, and the price came up to here. But as soon as it touched the opposition zone, we saw the biggest selling in Nifty today, along with a delta of over 1 lakh. We saw the delta around 1,30,000 again. Let's jump to its footprint and see where the maximum selling happened. Look here, you can clearly see selling of 1 lakh and also 68,000. This means this is the place where we saw the highest amount of selling. But what did the very next candle do? It broke all the selling zones on the upside. So what does that mean? It means that this selling has been absorbed here. Just like this selling happened in the market. The market was holding below this selling zone. Somewhere it was considering this as resistance. This is another instance of selling. In the very next candles, all the selling zones were broken on the upside. Okay, which indicates selling absorption. Now, the next candle came down for a pullback. A rejection was seen here. Again, Nifty came to the same spot. Another round of selling was seen, and again, exactly where the first selling was absorbed, pin to pin. At the same place, this selling was also absorbed. Look at this. This is the delta of 61K. That means around 60,000, around 60,000. There are sellers inside this candle, and the selling of 41K happened exactly here, and the very next candle broke that selling zone. Again, here too, another selling absorption was seen. There was another rejection. More sellers came in, 37K negative delta, but it was absorbed, and from here itself, after taking rejection, Nifty gave its closing. So, how did Nifty perform today? In which candles was there heavy volume, and how did buyers and sellers act? The second candle was the one in which we saw heavy buying. In the third candle too, there was buying, which moved the price quite well towards the upside. But here, some of the buyers started getting absorbed. Alright, so this was that bullish zone. But as soon as the bullish zone started to form, decent sellers came in and the market did not get stuck anywhere. As soon as the buying zone was broken, there was significant selling in this candle. Which candle is it? If I tell you the exact time, there was significant selling in the 1050 candle. The next 4 to 5 candles held that same selling zone. It was held without any buying interest. On the pullback, the downside movement was towards the opposition zone that had formed for the whole month. There was significant selling seen, but that selling was absorbed here. Again, selling was seen. It was absorbed. As the selling was being absorbed, rejection was visible, and right from here, Nifty gave its closing after taking rejection. There was good volume in the first 4 to 5 candles. There was good volume on the 1050 candle. Good volume means that there were a significant number of buyers and sellers in those candles. There was good volume in the 1130 candle as well. There was good volume in the 1245 candle, and then again in the 220 candle and 1050. These were the candles where the footprint gave us some solid confirmation today. Solid confirmation means there were heavy buyers and heavy sellers. Okay, and these are the zones that in some way made the direction of Nifty clear. Now, if you have any questions, please unmute yourself and ask.